welcome, folks, to another episode of Ask the Expert. This is the D-Free webinar series. We come to you every week with different experts. And when we use the word expert, we're really talking about people whose expertise is grounded in what they have done and what they've accomplished. You know, I've got earned degrees, and I was taught by people who are supposed to be experts in their field. And what I discovered was many of my professors had never done what they were preparing me to do. But they were PhDs and they were experts. And there are experts who have done both. They've studied it and they've done it. But we lean in on people who have done things and have accomplished things. And through their work and their words and their wisdom, we can glean principles that will motivate and guide us in our own pursuits. And so I'm the host when I can be here. Brittany Smallwood is the real host, and she's here all the time. And Brittany, I'm so thrilled again to be working with you today, especially because we have a woman with us today who is so profound. I told her before we started that I'm upset that this is just an interview and it's not a documentary. She has accomplished so much in such a short period of time that if people aren't inspired by her and what she's done and how she describes it, then they're probably not going to be inspired by anybody. So would you say hi to our viewers and introduce our guest?
Sure. Good afternoon, Dr. Soares. It is such a pleasure to be here today, and I'm so excited about today's guest. Her name is Zandra Cunningham, and she is the CEO of an international skincare line, and it's also a plant-based skincare line. It's called Zandra Beauty. Zandra, who is 22 now, was recognized by Entrepreneur magazine as one of the youngest millionaires in America, and she began all of this from a beautiful idea when she was 9 years old. First, Zandra, welcome. We're so excited to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I just described that this all started when you were 9. Do you mind describing for all of us just what really inspired your love for skincare?
Yeah, so my love for skincare, I don't know. It's just always, I've always had a love for skincare. I think the biggest thing when I was 9, 10, and just a young girl, I've always been a girly girl. So anything in regards to cosmetic and beauty, I was totally in for. But I think the skincare component really hit home for me just because I struggle with having sensitive skin. And being a young girl during that time, there wasn't a lot of, products out there for me that worked for my skin on the market. So that really made me more interested in the skincare side of the beauty industry.
So when you describe problems, you said you had problems with your skin?
Yeah, I have really, really dry skin, and I just have sensitive skin. So a lot of the products on the market, now we're in 2023 now. We're really big on, like the holistic component and being more cautious about what we put in and on our body. But before, back in 2009, 2010, the awareness wasn't out there. It wasn't as huge. So there wasn't a lot of products on the market that, you could look on the back and pronounce and recognize what's in the ingredients. A lot of them were filled with harmful chemicals and things that a lot of businesses got in trouble for now. So I wanted something that, could compete with the commercial products that were on the market at the time, but also it was also really, really good for your skin as well.
So Brittany, I just have to confess, I really need to just sign off because I am completely intimidated.
Oh my gosh.
having this conversation with someone born in the 21st century. I've never had a conversation like this with someone born in the 21st century. It's both amazing and disgusting because when I was 22, I'm not even going to talk about what I was doing at 22 years old. But Zandra, I mean, who are your parents? I mean, how did you become you? I don't understand this.
Oh my gosh, I have such a very, very dynamic family and dynamic parents. And And they're great, honestly, super great. They taught me a lot of things that I know now, and we've been able to grow with each other. Both of my parents retired from their jobs actually in 2016 to work for my company full time. So they're on the Zandra team. Yep. Whether they love it or
Her
not.
parents work for her company.
Yes.
I'm done.
Well, Zandra, can you describe for us how you asking your dad for lip gloss, right? Or lip balm when you were 9 prompted the idea for your business?
Yes. So yeah, like I said before, when I was 9 and stuff, like I was really into, skincare beauty industry. And at the time, since I was so young, my mom was not having me wear like makeup and all that stuff. So I really could only use lip balm and lip gloss. And every day before my dad went off to work, I would ask him to buy me a new one. And then one day, I don't know what was going on that day, maybe he just wasn't feeling it that morning. He told me no, that he wasn't going to buy me any more lip balm. And that sparked like an interest in like, okay, well, if you're not going to give it to me, then like, how can I get more? And that just made me research and went on the Google funnel and YouTube and stuff and watched how lip balm is created and where it comes from. And that just, once I saw people like how you can like make it at home, or you can get it, that it was a possibility that I can make it myself. That's when my mom kind of saw what I was doing, and she ordered a DIY kit. And once I made my first pink bubblegum lip balm, I was hooked, and I was like, oh, I can make so many more things. All the things that I feel like I had to go to the store and buy, I can just make my own.
So, Zandra, this is a webinar sponsored by a brand that focuses on financial empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
And as inspiring as your story is, I'm sure somebody young or old is going to say, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine falling in love with lip balm and then becoming a millionaire before I'm 22 years old. So how did this turn into an actual business? I mean, you've got to buy things. You have to pay people. I mean, how did you turn this passion into an actual company?
Yes, that's a really good question, especially since, like you said, like hearing the whole story, you kind of get like overwhelmed, and it become really overwhelming, first starting out. So in the beginning, since I was so young, a lot of my money and resources came from the bank of mom and dad. So they were fueling a lot of my funding a lot of my like ordering ingredients and stuff like that. Of course, we started off really small, so we weren't ordering like large quantities of raw materials and ingredients and stuff. But initially what we did to grow the company, once I understood, finance and understanding that when I'm selling something, the difference between revenue and profit, and understanding if I make $100, that I don't get to pocket the whole $100. So once I got over that, I started to realize like a lot of this, we were able to grow so like small and then also so big gradually, because what we did was we just cycled everything back into the business. So I didn't start to get a paycheck and start to buy things that I wanted until I was like 16, I think. I think that's when I bought my first car. And other than that, like, I think that was the biggest thing too, because my parents always said like, okay, like, it's okay to like, as long as you have like the basic things that you need, you want to work really hard so that when you're of age to get exactly like something big that you really want, you can afford it. And that was my biggest goal. Like starting out was like, I knew I wanted to, like, when I was able to drive and get my license, like I want to walk on a lot and be able to pick any car and pay for it in cash. And so that was like another thing that was driving me in the back end. But for the most part, we didn't seek outside funding until really, I think after I was 16. But other than that, we were fueling everything back into the business and, growing gradually and small. But it wasn't until I started getting into the big retail stores where we're like, okay, we need access funding and we need to be able to, hire more people and order more industrial like equipment to make the products and move into a larger space. So that's when we started to seek outside funding. And that really was a mix between investors and then also pitch competition as well.
Folks, you're listening to a 22-year-old. I just want to be clear. You're listening, and most of you, if not all of you, are over 22. You're listening to a 22-year-old describe how her parents helped jumpstart her financially. They now work for her. How she poured all of her profits back into her business. She learned the difference between revenue and profits. This is a walking prototype of where our people need to be. Do you realize, oh God, do you realize how profound it will be for young people who are 16, 17, 18 to hear you, Ms. Cunningham? I'm almost speechless. That's why Brittany's here. She's never speechless, but I can't get past the phenomenal role model that you are for our entire community. Our entire community. Go ahead, Brittany. I'm too overwhelmed to talk.
You're so sweet. Well, I'll share a little bit more about her accolades while you're, because Zandra, you're just absolutely amazing. So we mentioned before that she's, an entrepreneur. She's a CEO. In addition to that, I want to share that she's also been featured on Black Enterprise, NPR, 17 Magazine, Teen Boss, Girls Life Magazine, Forbes, USA Today, Nickelodeon, The Today Show, The Good Morning Show, ABC Nightline. She's been everywhere, guys. So I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. You're doing so well. Do you mind describing how you decided to expand your product line? Because I know you started off with, just as you mentioned, you started off with a few products. You didn't go out and buy a whole bunch of raw materials in the beginning. So how did you decide which ones you wanted to kind of expand to next?
So in the beginning, it was really, since I was so young, we had it was small batches of things, but it was just like random. It was like anything that I wanted to try. So if I went into a store and I saw bath bombs, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to make my own bath bombs. If it was lotions, it was butters, it was sugar scrubs, it was lip glosses, it was candy soap, it was cupcake soap, it was a whole bunch of just randomness. But it wasn't until I was enrolled into the the University at Buffalo's, their entrepreneurial program, when I was 13. And that was basically where I learned all about the fundamentals of business, because in the beginning, I was really focused on the formulation aspect. The business side really wasn't amazing to me at the time. So I was really just focused on, formulation and getting like the recipes and all that stuff down. But enrolling into that program when I was 13, that sparked my interest in the business and understanding like, okay, if my goal is to see my products on store shelves across the nation, I need to be able to, look at my competitors and be able to, compete with them. And then also, that basically meant scaling down my product line, figuring out, I did a lot of focus groups with young girls and women, just to figure out of all I think we have like so many SKUs of different products that we just picked, like we scaled down like our product line to like 5 standard scents. And then we picked like our top selling products within those things. And that's really how we formulated the line that you see now. And then we were able to expand from there.
So Zandra, give us a sense of what retail outlets your products are in.
Yes, so we are in Whole Foods, Wegmans, we're in Target, we are in Walmart online, Amazon, we are on Zandra Beauty's website, and a whole lot of other boutique stores across the nation. I don't know. Those are the big chain stores, but in regards to like the smaller, like mom and pop shops, if you go on our website, you can be able to like search like stores near you.
Yeah. What's your website URL?
ZandraBeauty.com.
ZandraBeauty.com. And it doesn't hurt that you also are beautiful.
Thank you.
When you are the best commercial for your products. Are your products considered ethnic products, or are they general market products?
General market.
Good. So you just happen to be Black, but it's not just.
Yeah, just happen to be Black. Just happen to be Black. I wanted something for our people. However, it's all plant-based and all like it's for any type of skin type, even especially for sensitive skin. So it was really for people with sensitive skin to have a healthier alternative. But It's good for all skin types.
Yeah. You know, I had problems with my skin as a young guy. And what I discovered was that it was the aftershave lotion that was literally messing up my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I started using pure shea butter from Ghana. And it changed my life. It changed my face. It changed my shaving. I used to bleed all the time when I shaved. So using natural products, and yours is a plant-based strategy, I think it's something that people should take very seriously. How many employees do you have?
We have 6.
Wow. Well, listen, now that you're 22 and you are an employee of your own company, correct?
Correct.
Where do you see yourself being, you personally and your company, say in 5 or 10 years?
Wow, 5 or 10 years. I feel like well, I know that in 5 or 10 years, we will be in the new and improved Zandra HQ that I'm going to build here in Buffalo. Zandra's going to be everywhere. Like the way you see Dub is the way you're going to see Zandra. It's going to be everywhere. And hopefully by that time, so it's at 10 to 15 years, probably within those 10 years, maybe we've sold Zandra and I've become an investor for other kid entrepreneurs, because that's like that's what I want to do.
Unbelievable. You know, I tell entrepreneurs, startups and others, run your business based on an assumption that you're going to sell it. Businesses are designed to make money. And the idea is that you at 22 understand the need to build a business so that it can be sold. It doesn't have to be sold, but if there's an opportunity, that's what businesses do. They generate revenue. I can't tell you how much I admire you. I think you have to make sure your headquarters is snowproof in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Extra heat. What advice do you have for teenagers? Because we plan to put this in front of hundreds of thousands of teenagers. We work with sororities and fraternities, for instance, that have campus chapters. We plan to make this available to them. What advice do you have for teenagers as it relates to thinking about their financial future?
So my advice would be to start something, whatever it is. And I feel like the biggest thing too, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone, that lifestyle. And some people just don't want it or whatever it is, or just not built for it. And that's okay. But I feel like everybody should experience being their own boss at some point in their life. I think it's a confident booster. I think it's just another experience that everybody needs to have to just be a holistic person, just to understand, like, you can be your own boss and you can, live on your own terms and, get things done. So I would say entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but try it at least once. Start something, even if it's like, everybody, we talk about lemonade stands and stuff, but that's an example of experiencing entrepreneurship. My other thing I would say is researching is a big component that I feel like a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of just people just miss out in the beginning. We get super excited about, what it is, whatever product or service that we're ready to, dive into. And whether you have the abilities to already have funding or access to funds or anything like that to start off, that's great. But I would do my research first, because sometimes you don't even know like where the market's going to go, depending on what it is. You want to basically always be ahead of the curve and know where your certain industry is going to be going in the next 5 or 10 years. Because if it's planning to just be non-existent, there's no need to, you might want to think about doing something else. So saving all the money, time, and energy by just researching and learning all you can. It's never too late to absorb knowledge on anything. So definitely do your research. That's really important. And I would also say, like, be comfortable and like embrace what you don't know, because that's going to determine how, you eventually build your team based off of your skills and understanding your skills, and also understanding your weaknesses as well. So you're able to, find other people that can add on to your team. And also I would say, entrepreneurship is great, but understanding being your own boss doesn't mean that you have to do everything all the time. I think that's a big thing of advice that I can give to other people. Like when you see Mark Zuckerberg or you see all these amazing people that, yes, they had the amazing idea, but they would have never made it to where they were had they just been only them. Like, I know it's a scary thing, but you have to be able to find your team, and that takes time, but find people that are just as passionate as you, that want to see your company win and want to give it to the masses. Like, there's no way you can do everything all by yourself. Like, you need to have people on your team. And I think my last piece of advice would be, don't accept no for the first answer. Like, I just think I've just been a lot of times in my life where like the answer's just been no, or they're not sure, or you feel like discouraged or something like that because you didn't get something or something didn't work out. I think keep striving and keep persevering ahead. And then also to like, a lot of times no doesn't mean no. It just means not right now or not with these people. So sometimes it just means like that relationship didn't work out. Doesn't mean that you can't do what you really wanted to do. Maybe it's just not with that company. Maybe it's just not with these people. Maybe it's just not right now in this moment, but it doesn't say that it's never going to happen. I feel like the only way that you accept that is if you accept that no, and just forget about it. But if you're determined to make that happen and that's part of your goal and what you really want to do, then it'll happen.
Brittany, that last answer was an entire course in entrepreneurship coming from a 22-year-old CEO. You know, I wrote a book on D-Free for entrepreneurs, and 90 to 95% of what I said in that book, Zandra, you just said in the last 4 minutes. so thank you. Oh my goodness, she's better than good. Brittany, I know I just took over because I'm so fascinated.
She's wonderful. She's absolutely wonderful. Zandra, the one thing I wanted to ask you before we close out is in regards to how you are so focused on giving back as well with your company. I know that you give 10% towards girls' education, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's a huge component about Zandra. And I feel like that's just a tiny part of who I am that I've been able to, showcase within the line. Because I mean, educated girl, you change the world. Like, I totally believe that statement is so true. And I just feel like, especially nowadays, like even, yeah, I'm a girl, I'm in skincare, but I feel like I wanted to make our company a vehicle for change and make a stand for something, actually do something about it. So while the products is one aspect of it, giving inspiration and empowerment to girls and women and let them know like, okay, like this is possible, but then also, really just exposing them to another big component of Xander, like I said, like you said, giving the up to 10% of proceeds to girls' education. But then also we started the Xander TLC Foundation, and that's funded a lot of our Day of the Girl events that we host here in Buffalo, to expose a lot of the girls in the underserved communities, what is out there for them, that they have access to all these amazing things, and hopefully can change their mindset and make them spark some interest at an early age. I feel like at a young age, it's like the best time to just explore and try everything. So by the time that you're ready to go to college or ready, or even thinking about coming into adult, you already know, or like what you don't want to do, and you're thinking about like, hey, I'm really good at this, but I think this will make me more money, or I'm really good at this and I can figure out a way to make more money in this field, instead of just thinking I'm just going to let life decide what it is, whatever route that is going to be. So I feel like it's giving girls an opportunity to take their destinies and their lives into their own hands. And it doesn't take a lot. I feel like women in general are like some amazing human beings. I mean, we do a lot of things under a lot of pressure that our other genders don't understand. So I just feel like with those little tiny resources, I mean, look what I've been able to do with just some support and basic education, and just a chance to given to me, and just having the option to be able to research and look up things. I mean, there's girls in other countries that literally they're told at a young age, like your job is literally just to do whatever male figures in the room tells you to do. And school is not an option for you. It's for your brothers, but it's not for you. And I think that's a hot mess. And I just don't like that at all. So I feel like that's the biggest thing about Zandra. Like I want to be able to, educate girls on skincare, get them to know holistically about their bodies and how to source different products, but then also how to start your own business, what that looks like, how to take your idea from just a kitchen table hobby and turn your hobby into a business, and being able to share your expertise and make money off of these things without going the traditional route because somebody told you that's what you should be doing. I think that's the biggest thing. I can't stand when I hear people like they don't know, or I mean, you would be surprised. So many adults be like, I don't even know why I chose to do this in my life, or I don't even know why I'm in this career because somebody told me it was okay, or told me this is what I should be doing. And you go through life unhappy and not tap into what your true essence and your true purpose was supposed to be. So I think if you're able to hone in on that and figure out that now at a young age, then we will have a lot of amazing, innovative things happening in the generations to come.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I can't tell you, I could listen to you all day, and I can promise you, you will hear from us again because your voice and your experience and your successes are absolute medicine for Black people, especially those who are coming up, and for young people in general. And so we'll be stalking you for the rest of your life. Yeah, stalking you because you are a special gift to humanity, and everything we want people to take seriously, you are taking seriously. And so I thank God for you. I'm so impressed with your parents because you judge the fruit based on the tree, and you are good fruit clearly coming from a great tree. So thank you. And you will hear from us again and again and again.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, folks, you've heard an expert unlike any other. She did not read books about it until she decided to do it. She read the books, but her success is based on her commitment, her drive, and her understanding of principles, deferred gratification, waiting until you can afford it to buy something like a car. Oh, I could write another book just on Zandra. So listen, go to our website, dfree.com, and look at all of our information. We've got calculators, we've got videos, we've got a free online academy, even if you're twice her age. And look forward to our next Ask the Expert segment with another outstanding personality. Thank you.